Tonight, jailed for 9 years amidst a gangland war. This gunman, Nicky Robertson, fired 3 shots at the window of a house in Edinburgh. The attack came amid an underworld turf war being waged across Scotland. Also making the headlines, stopping off for supplies. The Venezuelan-linked oil tanker seized by the US stops off in the Moray Firth to get food and drink for the ship's crew. The potential impact from the Scottish budget, 11,000 people's jobs in the public sector may be at risk.
In sport, a huge night at the top of the Scottish Premiership. Here at the Falkirk Stadium, champion Celtic come calling.
And I'm at Tynecastle as league leaders Hearts take on St Mirren.
I'm John Mackay. This is the STV News at 6. Good evening. A gunman who was filmed firing live rounds into a home in Edinburgh in the midst of a gangland war has been jailed for 9 years. 39-year-old Nicky Robertson admitted firing 3 shots from a Glock handgun into the window of a property in Niddry Marshall Crescent in March last year. The incident was linked to an outbreak of gang-related violence across the Central Belt. Vanessa Kennedy reports.
This is the moment 39-year-old Nicky Robertson shot into the ground floor window of this property in Niddry. In the early hours of the 20th of March last year, Robertson discharged 3 rounds of live ammunition from a Glock handgun into the house occupied by his former friend Patrick Beatson. While children were known to live at the property, they were not at home at the time. A rift had developed between the 2 men in what was described as a friendship that had gone wrong a number of years ago. When police arrived after receiving a 999 call, they saw 3 circular holes in the window of the property. They also recovered 3 gold-coloured bullet casings on the road outside. Today at the High Court in Edinburgh, Robertson was sentenced to 9 years in jail for a crime that the judge Lord Weir described as brazen and intolerable. The court also heard how Robertson had previous convictions, including serious assault, possession of weapons, and in 2007, the attempted murder of a former youth footballer using a sawn-off shotgun, for which he was jailed for 10 years. Lord Weir also noted that despite this time spent in custody, Robertson was now back in court as a 39-year-old man, this time on a charge of repeatedly discharging a gun in public. He said that the court must do what it can to deter him and others from such dangerous and unlawful methods of dispute. He will now start his 9-year sentence, followed by 3 years of supervised custody. The incident has been linked to an outbreak of gang-related violence across the Central Belt, in which 63 people have been arrested in connection with the investigation. Vanessa Kennedy, STV News at the High Court in Edinburgh.
The First Minister says he's deeply concerned he learned about a seized oil tanker arriving in the Moray Firth from the media. The Marinera, a Russian-flagged vessel, was seen yesterday with a US Coast Guard boat. It was captured by special forces in the North Atlantic a week ago. Nicola McCalley reports.
A mile and a half off the coast of Burghead is a vessel at the centre of international politics. The Venezuelan oil tanker Marinera, a Russian-flagged vessel previously known as Bella 1, was seized last week by US Special Forces in an operation similar to this one. Personnel were dropped from a helicopter onto the ship as it sailed in waters between Scotland and Iceland.
I would have expected to have been briefed in advance about steps to accommodate the tanker in the Moray Firth. I'm deeply concerned that I have not been, and these issues have been raised with the United Kingdom Government, and we're trying to seek information about this.
The sanctioned vessel had been chased across the Atlantic by US forces after apparently approaching the naval blockade around Venezuela. UK military helped in the operation to apprehend it, but did not board. Its appearance here has been causing a stir.
I've been following the boat for quite some time now, and who thought it would end up in the Moray Firth?
It's just another escalation along Trump's little I know, power trip, I would presume.
I think, obviously, when people opened their windows and saw this off the coast of Burghead, it did alarm some constituents. But I think as people understand why it's there, it will be there for a brief time to ensure supplies are brought on board. I think it's understandable to most people.
The UK government has been approached for a response. Nicola McCally, STV News.
The Finance Secretary is warning Scotland's public sector is facing a £1.5 billion of cuts, costing 11,000 jobs. Shona Robertson announced the costs in her budget, but only confirmed the job losses in a Scotland Tonight interview with our political editor Colin Mackay. Well, Colin joins us now. And Colin, some real budget detail emerging now.
Well, the £68 billion budget runs to 154 pages, dozens of detailed tables of figures and extra bits. And yesterday we really only got the top lines from the Finance Secretary, but today the opposition, economists, interest groups have really been digging into it. So far they've not really come up with many surprises. COSLA today claiming that they've been shortchanged by about £500 million. And on those public sector efficiencies, on Scotland Tonight last night, the Finance Secretary put a figure on the expected job losses for the first time.
There will need to be change to the way corporate services are delivered, some of the back office functions, the way our services are constructed, whether that's our health boards, whether it's shared services among local authorities. And many of our services, will need to change. They will need to change.
1.5 billion is a lot of efficiencies. It's a lot of job cuts, isn't it? How many job cuts are you talking about in the public sector?
Well, it amounts to about 11,000 jobs.
That's a lot of jobs.
A lot of that will be through natural attrition, and we've said to the public sector that we want to do this on a natural attrition basis and a voluntary basis, and we think we can do that.
Now, this is planned for over the next 3 years. It comes after a series of increases in public sector jobs, up about 30,000 since 2020, since COVID. But for the public sector unions, this means some of their members losing their jobs.
I think that was a shocking statement for the Cabinet Secretary to make yesterday. The idea that there's too many public sector workers at this point in time is ludicrous, and it's astonishing. Just not even a week after we saw the severe weather in the northeast of Scotland, where public sector workers went above and beyond to help the people of that area, to talk about there being too many staff in the public services.
So, Colin, whose jobs are at risk here?
Well, the NHS is the biggest single employer in Scotland. They haven't really been hit hard by this so far. It won't affect nursing posts, but it will affect management and admin staff. And we've already seen some job losses in government agencies and local government and in the Scottish Government itself. There will be more job losses, but they say they're targeting backroom staff, not frontline staff.
Colin at the Scottish Parliament, thank you. And we're staying with politics because the Scottish Labour leader is accusing Reform UK of being Tories in disguise ahead of a visit by Nigel Farage to Scotland tomorrow. Anas Sarwar also described the man tipped to be named Reform's leader here as a charlatan and a joke. Our political correspondent Ewan Petrie joins us now. So, what's behind this attack by Anas Sarwar?
Well, he certainly wasn't mincing his words, was he, when it came to describing Reform and the leadership of the party. He has made his views known in the past on both, but this was a planned photo call specifically designed to lay into that party. Now, why? Well, Reform has seen an increase in support here in Scotland. Some polls suggest they could be in a tight race for second with Labour. Anas Sarwar denied this morning that this attack was a sign of panic. The location, though, well, that was no accident. He was in Greenock, which is where Malcolm Offord, Lord Offord, is from. Now, he's widely expected to be named tomorrow as the man who will lead Reform in Scotland into May's Holyrood election.
They are Tories in disguise, the same team with a different badge and the same destructive ideas that have done so much damage to Scotland, and I'm confident that the people of Scotland will reject them. Lord Offord is the same man that is a long-term donor to the Conservative Party, a former treasurer of the Scottish Conservatives, the man that advised Ian Duncan Smith, the man that served in the governments of both Boris Johnson and Liz Truss, and now he wants to pretend somehow he is the great defender of working class communities across the country. He's a charlatan. He's a joke, and that's why Scots will see right through him.
Quite the attack, but we'll hear from the Reform UK leader tomorrow when he comes to Scotland.
That's right, Nigel Farage will be travelling north to make that announcement on the leadership, so that explains the timing of this attack from Anas Sarwar. As for the new leader, well, last month Reform celebrated its first electoral victory in Scotland. It picked up a council by-election in West Lothian, so they'll be looking to keep up that momentum going into May's vote. The party, though, well, it was staying quiet today in response to Anas Sarwar's comments. We'll hear plenty from them tomorrow, though.
Ewan, thank you for that. The Supreme Court judge, Lord Colbeck, has been confirmed as the new chair of the public inquiry into the death of Sheku Bayo. He previously presided over the fatal accident inquiry into the 2013 Clutha helicopter crash and takes over from Lord Brackadale, who stood down last year after the Scottish Police Federation questioned his impartiality.
He has a distinguished career, and the family also recognise it's not going to be an easy task for Lord Colbeck to pick up the reins from Lord Brackadale after all 122 days of evidence was heard. But the stopwatch has to be restarted and this inquiry has to reach its conclusion. After all, it's been over 10 years since Sheku Bayo died in police custody.
Now, we all know horses are used for racing, for farming or just as a hobby. But a non-profit company, Lunar Eclipse in Stirling, is raising miniature ponies for therapeutic sessions, offering special programmes for people of all ages and abilities. Raheem Cham reports.
It's a job that's paid her in ways money can't buy. Linda Fish works alongside a diverse group of therapy horses known as the Hoof Gang. Through equine-facilitated learning, the program has helped her autistic, non-verbal son speak for the very first time.
Horses were visiting him and he came home out of the blue and told us verbally that the horses had visited him. So I got in touch with Shireen. He's come on leaps and bounds since. He's more verbal, his confidence is rising, he takes on responsibilities, he helps muck out and helps feed and helps put the horses in and out the fields, and we love coming up here.
Lunar Eclipse Therapy Horses was founded by 53-year-old Shireen Robertson. After one horse, Luna, helped her recover from life-changing injuries following an assault at work. She now offers other people special meetings with horses to improve their mental, emotional and social well-being.
At the moment what we're offering is connection and groundwork, wellness walks. Meet horses, know what it's like to be around a horse. The work that we would do in here, we would set up courses, we would encourage children and adults to build small courses. They learn to lead through connection with the horse. None of our work is ridden. Everything that we do is completely on the ground, and it's all very meaningful groundwork exercises that bring in connection with the horse.
From American miniatures to Shetland ponies and Argentinian falabellas, each horse plays a therapeutic role, promoting personal growth and emotional healing.
All of the 11 miniature horses in this field have that special effect on people. But this little falabella here, called Teddy, his services are not just confined to this arena. They are very much accessible to the wider community.
That community includes this care home in Stirling, where Teddy helps residents reconnect with memories of horses they once owned.
There she is. There's your friend back.
You used to have a pony like that.
Yeah, you used to have a pony like that, did you?
Yeah.
Was she smaller or bigger than Daisy?
No, the same time.
About the same sort of size?
Yeah.
I just love seeing them. I think they are such beautiful creatures anyway.
It's something that they can enjoy walking with and things like that, like, you know.
From first words to cherished memories, these horses are proving that healing doesn't always come in words. Sometimes it comes in 4 hooves. Raheem Cham, STV News, Stirling.
To the sport, and there'll be further developments in a tight title race this evening. Ronnie has the latest from the Falkirk Stadium.
STV Sport, sponsored by the C.R. Smith New Year Sale.
Yes, indeed, John, a very good evening on what could be a huge night at the top of the Scottish Premiership. League leaders Hearts in Gorgie taking on St Mirren, and here at the Falkirk Stadium, John McGlynn's high-flying Falkirk welcoming a Celtic side now once again under Martin O'Neill, looking to make it back-to-back wins. It's certainly that 4-0 win over Dundee United for Celtic, steadying the ship on the field after the turmoil of Wilfred Nancy. But it's fair to say fans still have one big burning question of off-field matters, and that is, where are the signings? Martin O'Neill insisting they are trying their best, but also admitting they could be beginning to fall behind Hearts and Rangers. In terms of the home side, Falkirk all rosy in the garden for John McGlynn. 3 games, 3 wins out of 4. Added to that, 5 points clear in the top 6 of the team in 7th. Can they do it tonight? We'll have to wait and see. Let's now hear from both camps.
We'll try to do the best for Falkirk Football Club. That's what we're doing. Yeah. For us to do that, would mean that we want to try and stay in the top 6. To stay in the top 6, we need to perform well if we get every game and continue to win games and stay where we are. I've got a little bit of a cushion, but it can be easily swallowed up if you take your eye off the ball.
Really tough match, and I thought that even when we won, which was my opening game of the last period I was in charge, I thought they were very strong. We got a couple of goals at important moments, and obviously that would deflate them a little bit. But yeah, I think the utmost regard for the manager and the job that he's done there, and they're flying.
And delighted to joining us to preview this match tonight, former Celtic defender Charlie Mulgrew. Charlie, thanks for joining us. Your thoughts tonight then, Falkirk Celtic, what are you thinking?
Well, first of all, it's great to have Martin O'Neill back after a great win at the weekend. Obviously, you can see the intensity, the energy was back in the team. It felt like everybody kind of understood their roles and felt free within that. Always when that happens, you see a stronger, fitter outfit. Everybody looked a much better player. You could go right through the team from McGregor to Tierney to Engels.
Attention please, the stadium is now in event mode. The stadium is now in event mode. Thank you.
Some really good performances. A bit like Falkirk are in good form. I mean, they also are a good side, and it'll be a difficult game. Just
a word on the signings. How big of a job does Martin O'Neill got in his hands between now and the end of the season, and why do you think the signings aren't coming for Celtic?
He's got a massive job. He said it himself. He's done a great job, won 7 out of 8 when he was here before, but it's changed a wee bit in terms of Nancy comes in and it has a disaster, to be honest with you. It's a bad few weeks, and it has to pick the team up again. I mean, signings, Nancy would have had people lined up. I believe there was one at the Rangers game watching the game, so there would have been players noted down that he wanted to bring out. Now Martin O'Neill has to start again and bring the players in, and that's why it's taking time, but it needs to happen quick because Celtic need players.
Charlie, thank you as ever for joining us on STV, and you can watch Falkirk versus Celtic tonight on the STV Player Plus with Premier Sports coverage beginning at 7:15. Now to that other huge match tonight down Gorgie Way. Hearts, the league leaders, looking to restore their 6-point lead at the top of the table. They welcome St Mirren, and Jamie Borthwick's there for us.
Yes, Ronnie, huge night for Hearts tonight as they play their game in hand over Rangers and look to extend their lead at the top of the Premiership. Yesterday, Derek McInnes urged fans to ramp up their support in the face of what is now very clearly a credible title challenge. Hearts are coming off the back of a couple of nervy 1-0 victories over Livingston and Dundee, and one former Hearts boss believes that this is a title challenge that can go all the way.
Those victories are sometimes better than the 4 or 5-0s because it shows the grit and determination that's required, and they're still finding it. And I mean, it's going to be tight. I think Rangers have turned the corner a little bit, and obviously Martin's back at Celtic, so there'll be an improvement there, I'm pretty sure. So it's going to be a very, very interesting run-in.
Well, Stephen Robinson arrives here this evening with a St Mirren squad which is depleted through injury and coming off the back of 3 consecutive league defeats.
We have to put on our best performance to make sure we get a result. I love going to Tynecastle. I love the atmosphere there under the lights as well. So it's something we're going to embrace. We've shown that we can compete with Hearts. We beat them in the cup. We're very unfortunate not to win the game at home due to decisions, but we need that level of performance again, and we need that level of belief.
Well, after his weekend heroics, Craig Gordon will be in goals for Hearts tonight as Alexander Schwolo serves his 1-game suspension. St Mirren have doubts over Dan and Lundaloo, Killian Phillips and Liam Donnelly, but Alex Gogic does return. Kick-off here at Tynecastle is at 7:45.
what a night it could be at the top of the table. One final piece of football news, and it's big football news from Rangers, because they have confirmed the signing of left-back Tuur Romens on an initial 3.5-year deal. The 22-year-old joins the Ibrox club on a fee of around £3.5 million, but it's understood he won't be available for around 3 to 4 weeks due to a knock. STV Sport also understands the club have now agreed a loan deal for Wolfsburg winger Andreas Skov Olsen, with the 26-year-old now undergoing a medical. It is fair to say Danny Rule beginning to make his move in the transfer window, but in terms of the title race, it is Hearts and Celtic who take centre stage tonight, and what a night it could be. Hearts versus St Mirren, Falkirk versus Celtic. Where will the title race be come the end of tonight? Bye for now.
STV Sport, sponsored by the C.R. Smith New Year Sale.
To the weather now with Philip, and it's been a rather miserable start to the year, Philip. Any good news to come?
Well, yes, for once, John, we don't have any warnings in force at the moment, and currently none are planned, but things are still remaining changeable throughout the rest of this week and into the weekend. We'll remain in a westerly airflow with bands of rain and showers pushing across the country, but looking ahead to next week, we'll see high pressure starting to form over the continent, and that could act as a blocking feature, helping to block a lot of the low pressures and the bad weather from moving in from the west. So fingers crossed, the start of next week will be a little calmer. In the meantime, let's take a look at what's in store over the next couple of days. Here is your forecast.
An icy start to the day will give way to a series of oohs and ahs. TUI sponsors STV Weather.
Well, the cloud cover is continuing to increase as we head throughout this evening and overnight, with the arrival of this frontal system that's continuing to slowly move north and northeasterly overnight. It's bringing with it a more organised band of rain. Behind that, though, we'll continue to see a feed of scattered showers through the early hours of tomorrow morning, with some drier and clearer spells between those showers, temperatures dropping to lows of around 3 or 4 degrees Celsius overnight. So for Thursday morning, by the time most of us are waking up, that front will have cleared away to the north and the northeast. Behind it, we do continue to see some frequent showers, mainly across the north and west. Through central, southern and eastern parts, though, remaining mostly dry. The chance of 1 or 2 isolated showers, but more chance of some brighter spells, with temperatures sitting around 7 or 8 degrees Celsius, so a couple of degrees above average for the time of year. Overnight Thursday into Friday, we'll see dry and clear skies, so it does mean we'll see a touch of frost forming. So for Friday morning, a chilly, frosty start to the day. Further showers developing, though, banding together and moving northwards throughout the course of the afternoon. Fizzling out, though, by the time they reach the very far north. So turning a little bit drier throughout the course of the afternoon, with highs once again of around 7 or 8 degrees Celsius. Then looking ahead to Saturday to start the weekend, less chance of catching a shower, more drier and brighter spells on offer. Similar temperatures, though, highs of around 6 or 7. Bye-bye.
TUI sponsors STV Weather.
So that was detailed. Aye or no? Is it going to get better?
That was a long way of saying yes, it will be. It will be.
It will be?
Yes, yeah.
We've got you now, Philip. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.